is author Tim Brown of the book Uncommon Athletes. And I'm blessed today to have with me Coach Rene Haynes from Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York, all the way from Columbus, Ohio. Made it to Brooklyn, New York. How's everything going for you, New York? How's things
It's going really good. It's going really good. It didn't take long to get adapted up
going?
here in the lifestyle, and I think it was due to the fact that the university has been very supportive, and the people that were around have been very supportive. Really, kind of became family in a year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know we go way back to those good old 10 and under AAU days when you first started playing basketball. I think we were blessed to be part of the first 10 and under AAU basketball tournament for girls when they first
Hmm.
started that age group. Made that a long road trip in the vans down to Orlando, Florida, to be a part of that.
Oh yeah,
That
that was the I think till today though that was one of the most fun
was
trips and road trips I've had.
Yeah, that was definitely a road trip. But we had a good time. And now think about that group. There was a lot of quality young ladies. Looking at it now, I think Amber Bondurant was part of that group. She's a doctor now, I think. And
Yes,
yeah, Nicole
yes, she's a
Jones.
gynecologist.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and Nicole Jones went on to. She played at Kentucky State, and Marcella Packer, of course, Ohio State. Courtney Thomas, and the list goes on and on. We had it was a special group. It was definitely a special group. A special time. But I want to talk first off to you about your journey to the Big Ten. How different that was. You didn't play at a big school. It's not like you went to a big
Hmm.
school. You went to a small Division IV school here in Ohio, Wellington, and of course you had a great career there, scoring over 2,000 points and being an All-State player. How was that journey to going from a smaller school to the Big Ten? Most players that get to that level, they play at these high-profile programs, and here you are having a whole lot of nerve to come from a little bitty school. What was the size of your graduating class? What was the size of that class?
54 people.
54 people.
54 people.
54
And we
people.
were at the time the largest, I think the largest class at Wellington.
Yeah.
The largest graduating class at Wellington with 54 people.
Yeah. So
So it
how did
was, it was
that happen?
adjustment.
Yes. How did that happen that you had the nerve to figure you can go play big time coming from a school with a graduating class of 54 students?
You know what? The number never stopped me.
Mhm.
I started basketball at 6 years old. I started it because my dad told me that I was going to play it, and now we laugh about it because um, a lot of times, parents or even me as a parent, I'm like, well, if he likes it, maybe he'll do it, or if she likes it, maybe she'll do it. And he said, no, this is what you're doing, and I signed you up at Northeast for Saturdays for basketball, and that was it. And when he said you're playing, I had to say yes, sir, and then I had to just do it.
Right.
Cried for a couple days because at that time there wasn't really any girls playing, even at Northeast. Like there was no girls playing, and we just had to play with the guys. And I thought that it was kind of scary playing with the guys, but then the guys became my friends. And then I just had, a blast and a ball. I think the first time I really just kind of in my head was like, Daddy, this is what I'm going to do.
Mm.
It was an all-star game or some type of game that we ended up playing at Ohio State. I was around 8 years old, and that was the first time I was in the paper.
Oh wow.
And and I can remember them saying, and it was a while before I actually reached the room, but I was in the paper shooting a free throw, and it said Rene Haynes shoots the free throw. She misses the first one and she makes the second one.
Mm.
And my dad read it to me, and I kept looking at it, and I kept looking at the paper, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. At that time, I said, I'm going to be the first girl in the NBA.
Mm.
My dad's like, well, by that time, maybe they'll have something for you. you know, but that's kind of where my love for the game started. And I, I, I looked up to my sisters a lot. We all started at the same time. And so I always say that, I learned the most out of us three because I started when everybody else started. Sorry.
No.
And so, it was kind of, it was kind of just, you know, I think just the support and the love and it had to do with how much fun I had. It had to do with how much fun, I really had playing. And I remember we used to, I was actually telling some of my girls about this. They were like, well, how was it when, you grew up and, how much practice did you do? Meaning I don't know if that was a hint that I'm having us practice too long or what, but they're like, and I said, well, in the neighborhood, we had cars parked on the street and we used the cars as cones. So you would go to each car down the street and you would do a crossover, then you do behind the back, then you do a crossover behind the back. And just using what you had. I think I didn't get a hoop till I was a sophomore, a freshman in high school outside my house. So, it was just using what you had to make the best of it. And, I think it took a lot of support from everybody, including you that started, Take ABC and, the opportunities that kind of gradually came for women, along the way. I think I had so many people that had a hand in helping me get there.
And that's great. That's a great statement. I think one of our goals would Take ABC when we first started, it was a lot of men involved in the game. And our goal was really to train up the next generation of young ladies, to really take over the game. And so we're really proud of that. And that was one of our prayers, that the Lord would have young ladies be more involved, in the aspects of teaching the game and having some role models for young girls to look up to. And you were truly one of those. I can attest to this. It just seems like when you were playing, for me, it was like you were so much older and so much wiser, and I think that had a lot to do. You talked about having two other older sisters who played the game, and talk about how important family is to you.
Family is everything. I think anybody that knows us knows that we're very close knit. Family is everything. And extended family is everything. Like, it's, we always say in my household, we knew my father was going to take us to the basketball games. We knew that he was going to teach us, the skill that we needed to do, put us around the best people to teach us the skill. But we always knew that no matter what, my mother was going to be praying. While my dad is teaching, my mom is in the backbone praying. And that was special to me. That's how we rolled. That's where our base was, from Mount Zion Church of God in Christ in Columbus, Ohio, in Atchison. And, we were there. I mean, I think I always tell my mom today, I think we had one day a week off of church. We would go to basketball practice and then come back for a sunshine band, come back for a youth group, go to basketball, come here. We used to go to AAU games and have to run back to church to Sunday school and then come right back to the basketball games. And so, that's the foundation of family. And that's why family is so important, because our faith is so important. And our faith is, was taught through our parents. And so family is everything. I look up to my sisters right now. I mean, I look up to them. They are very special to me. We are, we're very, very close. We share the same friends. We talk every day. I'm 35 years old, and I think I talk to them probably at least twice a day, every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't speak with them, that I don't speak with my family. And that speaks a lot. That speaks a lot of volumes. Not every family does that. And I would say not every conversation we have something to say, but just hearing their voices makes everything okay.
That's good.
Even for me at 35 years old.
Well, I remember vividly on our road trip as we were going before every game. It wasn't the coaches or your dad or me or any of the adults leading in prayer. It was you.
Yeah.
Said, hey,
Mm-hmm.
hey, let's pray. This is
Yeah.
before we got out the van. On our way
Mm-hmm.
on our way to those games. And so I know how important faith is to you. As we talk about being an uncommon athlete in the book that I wrote, what are some characteristics and skills, both on and off the court, that you feel the uncommon athlete has to possess?
You know what? They have to possess leadership qualities,
Mhm.
you know. And some people say, well, there's different types of leaders. There are different types of leaders, but an uncommon athlete figures out which leadership quality is needed for their particular teammate, their particular team,
Hmm.
and what leadership that the coach wants them to have as a whole. An uncommon athlete's adjustable. They're adaptable. They're immediate in what they want to do. I teach that to my girls all the time. Immediacy is important because immediacy means that as a leader, you can get a change immediate from your teammate. Your teammate's having a bad shooting day, right? You know exactly what to say to them to get them going. A teammate is having a bad day off the court. You're there to tell them what they need. You're there to have a shoulder to lean on. You're there to spend the extra time with them to really know them as a person, other than as a teammate, as a friend, as a sister. And so leadership, I think it speaks volumes to an uncommon athlete because they're adaptable to their surroundings, and they know how to be a great teammate.
Hmm. That's awesome. That's one of the things we talked about in the book about uncommon adjustments. Like you're saying, things don't go the way they were supposed to. With coach, they're not playing the defense we worked on it, wasn't there? Being able to adjust and adapt. And that's so important in life as well. Those are
Yes,
life skills, to carry.
yes.
And I know throughout your career, you've had to adjust and adapt to some things as well. Talk about your relationship with Coach McCauley. I know that began at Michigan State, playing for her, and then ended up being assistant coach for her at Duke for a while. How was that adjustment from being a player for her and now being an assistant coach, so to speak?
You know what? So we connected when I was 15 years old. Not only did she come see me play basketball at Wellington, she came to see me play soccer at Wellington, because I played soccer from 6 years old until the time I graduated. And so, she showed me that she was genuine and supportive all around. Um, you know what? And when I took a visit there, I remember I took an unofficial visit there. Everybody knows, and if they don't know, I'm going to tell them the campus, Michigan State campus, is one of the best in the country. I mean, the best in the country. Okay. Um, so this was before I played green, right? Um, and when I went there, she sat me down and she spoke to me and she said, I'm not going to tell you you're going to come here and play 40 minutes a game. What I am going to tell you is that you will have to work hard every single year, every single minute to keep the position that you have.
Mm.
And and I listened to her, and this was totally different than any other coach that I had spoken with. A lot of times people say, how you can fit in this team is such and such, such and such. She said, this is my team, this is how I coach, this is how we play. um, what ways do you feel that you can fit into this team? And I was honest with her, and I told her I had watched, I'm actually watched Michigan State every time they came to play Ohio State. And I wore neutral colors though at that time.
Right.
And and then she also told me, she said, every year I'm going to recruit over you.
Mm.
Every year. Every year I'm going to try to find somebody that's better than you. And it's up to you to keep improving, keep developing your game so I can't find that person. And I looked at her, and at first I looked at her a little off. And you know what? And that was the start of our relationship. And when I left there, I said, Daddy, I want to be a Spartan. Mommy, I need you, I need you guys to think about it, talk about it. And they both looked at each other, looked at me and said, this is not our choice. We taught you how to pray. You pray about it. And I did. And that was the spot for me. Those were the people that I felt comfortable with, that I wanted to be around, the coaching staff. And you know what? And that started our relationship. And every day wasn't the peaches and gravy. Every day was not good. Every day was not just the happiest moments. But you know what? The happy moments, the good moments outweighed all the losses, everything. In the journey. And I think the strong woman that she continued to build on from my parents. helped mold the person I am today. And so after I finished playing and after I finished coaching at Western Michigan, and I was there. I had literally just finished my master's at Western Michigan, like as in scheduling to walk. And she called out of the blue, and she called Shane, which is the head coach, the current head coach at Western Michigan, and she spoke with him, and she asked him, I need Rene on my staff, and I don't know what else she said. Then she called me, and Shane said, your girl's gonna call you. And I said, okay. And she called me, we talked, and it was never a hesitation. Not only because it was Duke, it wasn't a hesitation because a person that believed in my dreams, I knew that she wanted to have a chance, and I knew that she wanted to keep working hard to win a national championship at Duke because it hadn't been done before. I was not going to hesitate about helping her with hers. And that was what it was about. It wasn't so much that it was about Duke. It was about being there with my family, and working hard and developing my coaching skills, and building on my leadership skills that I knew she could help me with along the way. And so, I mean, our relationship never stops. And that's what I believe that coaching is. Your relationship never stops with your players. 10 years from now, I want my players to be able to call me and be like, hey, I need advice on this. Like, what would you do? Or, hey, do you have a opening on your staff? Hey, I live in this state. Do you know anybody at this school that you can make a call for me? And I'm going to be like, yes, because our relationship keeps building. Our relationship keeps getting stronger. And so that's what it was with Coach P. Until today we talk. She sends me every Sunday. I have a scripture. I have her devotional every Sunday. And we're 20 years in our relationship, and she continues to be the same Coach P that she was when I was 15.
That's a great word for young athletes as well. How important relationships are, how
Hmm.
important it is to maintain those relationships, and how important those are for student athletes. Lastly, could you give an encouragement? Well, what encouragement word would you give to student athletes and the parents as well as they're dreaming of being a college basketball player, playing at that next level? What words of encouragement would you give?
I would definitely tell parents to make sure that your child is adaptable, and um, keep talking about different ways to overcome adversity, whether it's small, whether it's big, um, whether it's large. Just help them, give them tools to overcome adversity. Because when you get to college, it is not a easy breeze, right? It's time management is different. It's just a lot of things you have to adjust to, but you also have to stay focused. And I think that starts before you get there. Time management, college coaches will help you with that. The environment will help you with that. But just to have tools prior to that, I think would be beneficial to any student athlete. I would also say, don't take away the fun. And I would say, athletes, make sure you are having fun. Make sure that this is coming from your heart. Make sure that this is coming from deep down inside, and make sure you are having fun. And if you are not having fun, figure out what's missing. All right. A lot of times you have to do a self check. How much are you giving? Right? How much are you giving to your teammates? How much are you giving to the time and effort to put into the sport that you want to be successful for? You know, and how much, it's really about giving, right? You got to overlook, well, what am I receiving? Am I receiving enough of this? Am I receiving enough of this? Am I receiving enough of that? Think about giving. You will have fun if you give to everyone around you.
Wow, that's good. That's a good word to end on, having fun. And I want to, first of all, thank you for your time. And I've enjoyed watching your journey. I had the opportunity to watch you play in the Final Four and watching you coach, and it's been a blessing to me. And you are truly an uncommon athlete, truly one of those who stands by. I think an uncommon athlete stands by certain principles, there's certain principles that they don't waver on, you know. And obviously yours is that strong faith, that strong belief, and also making those adjustments, those things you talked about. So I want to thank you for your time, and this has really been rich for me. It's kind of taking me back down memory lane. So
Thank you so much. And, and I want to tell you, thank you for all you've done for women's basketball, and getting us going and getting us started. Because it's not just me that, the Lord has used you to bless us, and it's more than just me, that have been uncommon athletes. And, a part of that is also you starting us off at 10 years old, and you kind of gave us sisterhood before we knew, what sisterhood was besides in our immediate family. And a lot of us are still friends till today, and we cross paths in college. And, so that was nice to cross paths. And so I would like to tell you, thank you. And I myself is very appreciative. I know my family is very appreciative, my sisters, and also my fellow teammates.
thank you, my pleasure. All right, Coach. Well, I look forward to following you this season, and thanks for your time. For the end of this, I want to remind persons to subscribe to the Uncommon Athletes YouTube channel. You can get a copy. You can listen to videos on a weekly basis about becoming an uncommon athlete. So thanks again, Coach Haynes, and
Thank
blessings
you.
to you and your family.